Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we are running through 10 players hated by their own fans. It's a spicy one, so make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments section, and the best one may just feature on Sunday Vibes. 10. Jonjo Shelvey. Thanks to Sean15 McKenzie on Twitter, who pointed out that we could have included any number of Newcastle players in this rundown. However, for us, Jonjo Shelvey is particularly worthy of inclusion. Firstly, the 29-year-old, unlike so many of his colleagues, is talented, having played just under 70 games for Liverpool, all of which coming when he was 21 or younger. But approaching his 6-year anniversary of joining the Magpies from Swansea, you get the feeling that Shelvey is coasting. After creating 1.7 chances per 90 during the 2019-20 campaign, a figure topped only by Matt Ritchie, as Newcastle finished 15th, he now only creates 0.5 per 90, remarkably still 5th in the squad, but half of what Josh Brownhill is managing at Burnley. Factor in that he's now getting dribbled past 1.9 times per 90, has made just 2 tackles all season, and has already been sent off in his 193 minutes on the pitch, and it's not difficult to see why Newcastle fans are turning against the midfielder, currently paid a reported £70,000 per week, second only to Joe Linton in the squad. 9. Clement Lenglet. We like this shout from Omar Gabri7 on Twitter because Clement Lenglet's drop-off hasn't gone unnoticed by Barcelona fans. Signed after a magnificent 18-month spell at Sevilla, the 14-cap Frenchman's first 2 campaigns at Barcelona were largely pretty good, as he helped the Blaugrana to their most recent league title in 2018-19. 2020-21 was a different story, however. The previously unflappable Frenchman appeared to lose confidence with a series of errors, seeing him pick up 1 red card and 5 yellows in the first 17 league games of the season. This continued throughout the campaign as he committed 1.8 fouls per 90, a 34% increase on the previous season, and a figure that has risen to 2.2 in 21-22, the most of any defender at Barcelona, Real Madrid or Atleti. Factor in that his aerial duel win rate has dropped from an average of 55% to a quite simply tragic 18%, and it's clear that Xavi has an enormous job on his hands to turn around Lenglet's career. 8. Mauro Icardi. It's rare for a player to be hated by his own fans, but to be disliked by 2 sets is worthy of a shout out, as @LeMadLeBrave points out on Twitter. Whilst PSG fans don't have anything close to the same apathy towards Icardi as Inter's, who saw their former captain and talisman go on a 53-day strike, it's certainly getting close. The Argentinian may have netted 20 goals in 34 games across the 2019-20 campaign, persuading the 9-time French champions to fork out £45 million, the 6th largest fee in their history, but it hasn't worked out since. He missed 27 games across 2021 and has only been given 527 minutes of action this term. His record of a goal every 160 league minutes since the start of 2020-2021 is useful, especially when compared to Neymar's 174 in the same period. Icardi's deficiencies in his all-round game mean this isn't a contest. Di Maria has created over 100 more chances than Icardi since 2020-21 began, Neymar 89, and he's 66 off Mbappe's total in that time. What's more, with the Kardashians creating more headlines off the pitch than on it, Icardi seems to sum up everything that is wrong with modern day PSG. 7. Adrian. There might be some players at Liverpool such as Minamino or Nico Williams who get more than their fair share of criticism for their underwhelming performances, but very few if any are genuinely hated. The closest you are likely to come is probably Red's 3rd choice keeper Adrian. Things initially went well for the Betis Academy graduate following a surprise move to Anfield. He saved 2 penalties on debut in the Super Cup against Chelsea, and following an injury to Alisson on the opening day of 2019-20, stepped in and performed admirably as Liverpool went unbeaten through the first 8 games of their title-winning season prior to the Brazilian's return. But it soon turned sour. Come the spring, Adrian put in a disastrous display against Atletico Madrid at Anfield as the holders were dumped out, and to compound matters then did an interview with The Sun, already an ill-thought-out idea, saying their opponents were the better team and deserved to win. That was only topped 7 months later when he conceded 7 goals against Aston Villa in his first appearance of the season, and he's only played 5 games since. 6. Giovanni Lo Celso. As @benash_66 alerted to us on Twitter, despite being appreciated by the wider footballing community, Giovanni Lo Celso really isn't very popular with Spurs fans. Let's start with the facts. Initially expected to cost £45 million, the Lily Whites only ended up paying Real Betis just under £29 million in January 2020, the 4th largest fee in their history. Having missed just 2 games across the previous 3 seasons, he has missed an extraordinary 38 at Spurs, meaning he has still only started 28 league games, 12 fewer than Reguilon, who joined a year later. His output in his truncated game time has been mediocre to say the least, just 1 goal against Man City and 3 assists in 53 league games. This has begun to frustrate the Spurs faithful who knew of his excellent output at Betis in 2018-19, where he contributed 14 league and Europa League goals and 5 assists, as well as his consistently excellent performances for Argentina. With his shot creating actions per 90 jumping from 2.8 to an extraordinary 6 this term, albeit in limited minutes, Lo Celso better hope Conte can drastically improve his fitness, consistency and output if he is to fulfil his undoubted potential on these shores. 5. Nathan Redmond. A former stalwart for the England under-21s winning 38 caps, a figure topped only by Milner and Nathaniel Chalobah, having shone with Birmingham and Norwich City, Nathan Redmond joined Claude Puel's Southampton in June 2016. He played at least 30 league games in each of his first 4 seasons on the South Coast, reaching 8 goal contributions in 3 of those campaigns. However, the downturn since has been dramatic, with 2 goals and 5 assists in his last 35 league games, and Saints fans are starting to turn against him. It's clear that Redmond is becoming increasingly frustrated. Although his shots per 90 have stayed at a solid 2.1, the same as Harry Kane, just 0.6 come from inside the area, a drop of 0.5 from 2021. Perhaps Saints fans should keep the faith however. His 2.4 key passes per 90 is level with Salah and above the likes of Pogba and Mount, whilst his 0.29 expected assists per 90 hasn't been topped by a player at St Mary's since Sofiane Boufal's departure in October 2020. The one-cat wonder might not have turned into the player we thought he would, but he's far from the worst player in Hassan Hüttel's squad. 4. Adrien Rabiot. Suggested by @JockeyBro3691, Rabiot might not be as costly as some of the other inclusions on this list, having signed on a free from PSG in 2019, but he still isn't very popular with fans of Juventus. But unlike the old lady's long list of successful Bosmans including Cannavaro, Pogba, Pirlo, Llorente and Dani Alves, Rabiot joins Ramsey firmly in the flop category. Having made just under 230 appearances for PSG by the age of 24, often averaging over 5 tackles and interceptions and 2 dribbles per 90 in the centre of the park, big things were expected of the talented Frenchman in Turin. He hasn't been a disaster, but he's definitely underwhelmed, never starting more than 25 league games in a season, and creating just 27 chances across his 70 league games for Juve, only 1 more than he did across 2017-18 alone. Shunted out to the left wing and having only completed 4 full 90s this season, it's clear Max Allegri is struggling to get any more out of him than Sarri or Pirlo. An anti-vaxxer whose mother created issues during Euro 2020, Rabiot is a little short of admirers right now. 3. Gareth Bale. For any normal player, 106 goals and 68 assists in 254 games, or 0.68 goals and assists per game, 0.04 better than De Bruyne at City, would make you a club legend. But not Real Madrid's Gareth Bale. After a hugely successful first 5 years at the Bernabeu following his world record £85 million move, which yielded 12 trophies including 1 La Liga, 1 Copa del Rey and 4 Champions Leagues, Bale's Madrid career has nosedived. He's only been fit to start 6 Champions League games for the club in his last 3 years in Madrid, whilst his goal output has gone from 1 every 112 La Liga minutes in 17-18 to 1 every 546 in 19-20, his last full season with the club. With his 32-year-old body cruelly affected by injury, with 25 different layoffs since his 2013 move, with 9 of them over 5 games, Zinedine Zidane eventually lost patience and decided to send him out on loan in 2020-21. He returned to Spurs, and though he improved as the season went on, Daniel Levy was reluctant to take on his monster £600,000 per week wages. Having made no effort to integrate into Spanish culture whatsoever, whilst regularly commenting on how he prefers playing for his country, it's no surprise that fans of Los Blancos have very little time for the 99-cap Welshman. 2. Granit Xhaka. Rewind to October 2019 and it felt like Granit Xhaka was possibly the most unpopular Arsenal player of all time. He'd repeatedly told fans to F off after being booed when substituted in a game against Crystal Palace and was subsequently stripped of the captaincy. But Arteta's return to the club led to an upturn in form by the former Gladbach midfielder, and he ranked 4th for minutes and 1st for tackles and interceptions, progressive passes and passes into the final third last campaign. Despite this, when summer 2021 rolled around and Jose Mourinho's Roma showed an interest in signing him, most Gooners rejoiced, a feeling that was seemingly reciprocated by the player himself, who started following the 2-time Champions League winner on Instagram. After all, for all Xhaka's excellent line-breaking passes, he still had the turning circle of a cruise liner, was regularly caught out of position, and made far too many game-changing mistakes. At 29 and with 3 years remaining on his new deal, Arsenal fans face the prospect of watching an ageing Xhaka for the rest of his decidedly mixed career. 1. Fred. Whilst Man United fans are conflicted over whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be given more time, although increasingly unified by the week, or whether players such as McTominay or Wan-Bissaka are good enough for the 20-time champions, one thing they all agree on is their disdain for Fred. In Fred's defence, he does have his uses. Unlike so many of his teammates, he's rarely injured, racking up 96 appearances for the club over the last 2 completed seasons, a figure topped only by Maguire, Rashford and Wan-Bissaka in the United squad. But the simple fact is that he isn't the player Man United needed when they bought him in June 2018, and he's not the player they need now. A hard worker who completed 24 pressures per game last season, a figure topped only by Gallagher, Ayew and Allen in the entire division. If Fred was more comfortable on the ball, he'd be a very good foil for an elite defensive midfielder. But this season he's managing just 4.6 passes into the final third per 90, a figure dwarfed by Matic's 10.3. Dribble past 2.9 times per 90 this campaign, nearly 3 times that of his partner McTominay. Fred isn't anywhere close to a £53 million player, the 5th largest fee paid for a central midfielder in the league's history. So guys, that was our rundown of 10 players hated by their own fans. Was there any ones that you disagree with, or do you think we missed anyone out? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm sorry for my voice during this video. I do have a little bit of a cold, but I'm sure I will get well soon. But I hope you managed to hear me through my nasal issues. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. Please like it and subscribe to Football Daily, and I'll catch you next time.